Welcome to Talking Football on 1252 Sports Entertainment. What's up, everybody, and welcome to Talking Football. It's been a minute since we've been here, and I myself am Fat Mike, one of the three hosts that host this awesome show. With me, as always, is Angelo Ace Camacho and our guy, Tyler DeMouse Fantasy. What's going on, guys? Good morning. How are we doing?
What's up? What's up? Super Bowl
What's up,
Sunday.
fellas? It's been a while.
Super Bowl is here. You guys excited for this? I'm excited for this show. I'm excited to talk some football here. It's the last game of the year, and I know I'm super pumped up for it. I cannot wait for it this afternoon. I got a bunch of stuff going on. So real quick, let's get it out of the way. Tom Brady is the shit, right? Tom Brady's the fucking, like, the greatest quarterback that ever lived right now.
Tyler's going to disagree because he beat the Packers. But, it's clear to say that Rodgers isn't the greatest quarterback of all time.
That was such a sad game. That was such a sad game, man.
I'm so happy.
I had Mike blowing up my phone. All my buddies were blowing up my phone throughout the game. After the game, I just completely ignored everybody. I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with this today. I'll deal with it tomorrow. It took me through half the day the next day to fucking get over it. Yeah,
that's what it's like being a Bears fan every. That's what it's like being a Bears fan every season after the fourth week. So,
but the difference is, you guys don't have any hope. The Packers just fill us up with hope and then fucking shit the bed. Right?
You don't have any hope.
I mean, he's not wrong, Mike. We don't have any hope.
Not wrong. But fuck, I mean, you can be a little light about it. Jeez, you know the shit.
The Bears are. It's like that clip that. Remember when Waddle and Sylvie, they used to talk about the Cubs and they'd play that clip of like, the Cubs start their season today. They don't know they're not going to win, but they don't know it yet. That's how the Bears season is every year. It's always that fucking way. So before we get into it, everybody's watching the big game today. What kind of food you guys eating?
Oh man, I got a spread over on my end, man. I got so Megan is she's making the chili dip. She's making a spinach artichoke dip.
Nice.
That's just like the little dips that we got going on. We got fried chicken coming, spicy masticholi, sausage and peppers, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, and gravy. And then
jealous as hell right now.
Full 9 yards.
Oh, yeah, dude, it's going nuts, man. And we're going ham today. And then one of her girlfriends is bringing over brownies, so that's cool. I ate a brownie once; they're all right.
No, what kind of brownies?
Yeah,
special brownies.
No, not special brownies.
Oh, that have made the game even better.
Yeah, it may have. But no, I'm excited. How about you, Ty? What do you got going on for your spread today?
So we're going over to my wife's parents' house. I do not know what they have on the menu yet. The plans were set in stone yesterday. Didn't get any idea of what food was being made today, so I'm going to be surprised when I get over there.
Tyler's on a need-to-know basis, and clearly he did not need to know.
Clearly, he doesn't. They don't give a shit if you eat or not.
Yep.
So, it's going to be like popcorn and cereal. You don't like it?
Order out. Yeah, that's funny.
Angela, how about you? What are you eating?
So we're making some nachos. We're gonna do some homemade potato wedges that are like yeah, that was me. Some like Parmesan potato wedges. And then I'm gonna have some spicy Italian sausage for like the dinner during the game. So we're gonna have some nice meaty Italian sausage.
There you go. Smothered in underwear.
Smothered in underwear.
No, man. Listen, man. This is one of my most favorite days of the year. I mean, it really is. Not too much compares to Super Bowl. I really do love the Super Bowl. It's not. Where would you rank the Super Bowl? I mean, we all know that the Super Bowl is like the greatest thing every single year. Like more people watch the Super Bowl than anything else. You know, it's huge. But would you put the Super Bowl number one? Like, are you taking the Super Bowl over like Game 7 of the World Series?
Well, no. Well, No, because
it's close.
No, because the Cubs were in a Game 7 of the World Series, so I would never take that. That was my greatest sports moment as a fan. And the Bears haven't been to a Super Bowl in my lifetime, so I mean the Super Bowl's fun and all. It's fun to party, but I have no real connection emotionally with any Super Bowl. So
you say it's down the list then? It's not the greatest game of the year?
So, I mean, I like I like series. Like I like the NHL playoffs. I like the MLB playoffs. I like the NBA playoffs because usually especially in hockey, within a series, a team that's not the one you expect to win could, shock people. That's why I really like hockey. I'd say it probably ranks second to me. It'd probably be baseball playoffs, then Super Bowl, then the NHL, and then NBA for me.
How about you, Ty? Where do you rank the Super Bowl? Is it number one?
Super Bowl is the best game of the year, every year, no matter who's
in it.
Oh, yeah.
See, I mean, I don't know, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It'd be a million times better this year if 2 weeks ago didn't happen. But
no, well,
but every year, man, I'm always looking forward to the Super Bowl.
I'm glad that you got your fucking heart broken by Tom Brady.
Yep.
I really did. I'm glad that he went into Green Bay.
It wasn't even Tom Brady.
Dagger, dude, dagger. I even texted it to you. That dagger that he threw to Scotty Miller with like 8 seconds left in the half. That was unbelievable, man.
Bro, how do you just leave a dude so wide open?
Yeah. That dude was fucking burnt toast, man. Whoever was covering him.
It was fucking Kevin King who made, I can't even count on fucking one hand how many mistakes he made that game. He was awful.
He had a terrible game.
He was just game time decision coming up to the game. They would have been better off. They left him in that.
Yeah, probably. He had a lot of misplays.
We're talking a lot about Tom Brady here because, listen, guys, Tom Brady's the fucking guy's phenomenal, man. Like, he really is. I mean, you can't take anything away from the guy. The guy's this is his 21st or 20th season?
Yeah.
And he's been in the Super Bowl 10 times. Yeah. All right, I heard a stat the other day, and I read this stat, and I don't know. I mean, listen, the stat is overblown, okay? It really is, because one outweighs the other a little bit. But the chance of Tom Brady making a Super Bowl at the beginning of the year is a better chance than Steph Curry hitting a three-pointer.
I heard that stat too.
Fucking ridiculous, dude. Like, and put it this way. If you bet at the beginning of the year, the Patriots, over the last 20 years,
you'd have been making money.
You're right. 6 of the last 20, every time that they made you know what I mean? Yep. You're right. 6 times. That's a pretty damn good winning percentage. What's 6 for 20 in baseball? That's over 300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's insane, man. It's insane.
So the other thing that I like, sorry, Ty, is like I like how he's won those Super Bowls. Like, it was never just like, oh, it's Tom Brady's show. They've won by field goals. They've won by whack interceptions on a fucking goal line that probably should never have happened. Like, it's just been so many different storylines that ended all of his victories. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy.
They've also won those Super Bowls too, where he's down big time.
Yeah.
And fucking comes back and just beats you. Like,
28-3 in the fourth quarter.
That is the greatest Super Bowl I've ever watched in my life. Ever. Like, that was the best Super Bowl I've ever watched in my life. He comes back 28-3 and fucking wins that game.
Yeah.
All right, now, everybody talks about the collapse of the Atlanta Falcons that year. They don't give Tom Brady any fucking credit for coming back 28-3.
No.
You know what I mean? It's how the Atlanta Falcons lost that game. No, motherfucker. It's how Tom Brady won that game.
And if you really think about his weapon, go ahead, Ty.
Go ahead, Ty.
I mean, they did
collapse that game. They stopped running the ball. They're fucking up by 14, going 3 and out, passing the ball, taking 5 seconds off the clock each time.
That's the Matt Nagy game plan right there.
Because it's still fresh. It's still a fresh wound that Tom Brady went in the Lambeau and stomped your dick in the fucking turf.
Hey, all right. I'm not even mad at Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't win that game. We lost that game.
So listen to this though. People up here, they hate Tom Brady in Wisconsin. They despise him. For what reason? Only because Aaron Rodgers will never be able to be in that conversation. They think, oh, Rodgers is the greatest quarterback ever. No, statistically, he has good stats, right? But when it comes to crunch time in the playoffs, he's actually pretty average. at least record-wise,
Right. Yeah. I mean, listen, man, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback, man. I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers. All right. It's not his fault. They don't surround him with anything on the defensive side of the ball. It's been like that for decades with the the Packers. It's been like that for like the last 15 years. They've never really had a good defense.
That's why Favre wanted to get out.
Right. They've had some big name guys like Clay Matthews or, AJ Hawk, or there was a pretty decent cornerback down there for a little bit. Who was
Tremont Williams?
Tremont Williams played for a while. They signed Charles Woodson for a couple years. But they never have enough. And one thing about the Green Bay Packers too is that they never have enough to rush the fucking quarterback. They haven't had a legit pass rusher since Reggie White.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I mean, like, that's legit. And Reggie White has been retired and dead for almost 20 years.
I mean, Zadarius Smith is good, but he's not like, oh my God, he's going to have a sack every game type of player. You know what I
mean? Julius Peppers had a solid first year when he came over and they moved him to outside linebacker. Clay Matthews was solid for a couple of years until they gave him a huge contract. And then he's like, all right, I got my money. I'm just going to sail until the end of it.
He decided to take a break. But let's talk about the other team in today's Super Bowl, man. Patrick Mahomes. This Chiefs team is fucking super dangerous. All right. And super dangerous. The last time that these two teams met, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was wild. I went against him in fantasy football that week.
And I had him on my team this year, and he was unbelievable. I actually, what's funny about that? I traded Patrick Mahomes. I thought it was a 2-quarterback league. I traded Patrick. It wasn't. It was only a 1-quarterback league. I traded Patrick Mahomes to get Tyreek Hill and Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I should be trading Mahomes. It's fucking Patrick Mahomes. My backup quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. I think I made the right call.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a win-win. Fournette wasn't even fucking playing at that point. He was bummed out with a foot or whatever the hell he had. But anyways, this team is dangerous, man. I don't care what anybody says. We all see it. It's nothing new that the people that watch the same game that we watch every single week are missing out on. Patrick Mahomes is the real deal, man. He really is. This kid is fucking amazing. He does it with his feet. He does it with all these crazy, intuitive, crazy, off the cuff fucking plays, throwing the ball underhand and, left hand throws and no look passes. And he is the real deal. And with the weapons that he has, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, this is going to be a tough team for that big Tampa defense to stop.
Plus their defense is okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not bad enough to where, like, oh man, that's if they don't put up this many, 47 points, they're going to lose.
Right.
Like, their defense can hold a team to 27 points, and if you hold a team to 27 points against this Chiefs offense, you're going to win every game.
Right. Well, you're freezing up. What happened? Did you sneeze? What'd you say now? You sneeze. You froze out.
Oh no, I was just saying that if that defense can hold people to 27 points, that Chiefs offense is so good that you never lose. Your offense puts up so many points. It's going to be interesting to see, in the next few years where this kind of goes with guys getting paid, because eventually you win enough Super Bowls, everybody's going to want to get paid, right?
Right.
So you're going to start losing pieces. Is Mahomes a product of all these great weapons and a great coaching staff? I think he's just a talented guy.
Right.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens when he doesn't have all these toys to play with, going forward.
One thing I think about this Kansas City team, I think, see now, Angela, I think you'll see the opposite here. Sorry, I got a blood fucking poking through. One thing about this Kansas City Chiefs team, I'm thinking the other way, Angelo. I really do. I think that people are going to want to play for KC and just because of Patrick Mahomes. I don't see Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill going anywhere.
Probably not.
Period. They're not going anywhere. That's not going to happen. What I do think is that what you just said, other players are going to ride that system and ride the contract out. It'll be like the lesser players, guys
right.
like, I don't mean lesser player because they're still studs, but if you put them on any other team, they're not what they are on KC.
Right.
Guys like McCole Hardman, guys like Sammy Watkins, guys like that type of caliber. Look at Le'Veon Bell, and those guys will write, "Oh, we won a Super Bowl, so I want to get paid."
Right. We've seen that happen where after a Super Bowl, players like Greg Jennings, for instance, go somewhere else and he's terrible, or like even Wes Welker when he left the Patriots and went to Denver, he was never the same player. You know what I mean? It's that's that age-old question. Does the quarterback make the receivers, or do the receivers make the quarterback? And history kind of shows that the quarterback is the one that makes the receivers who they are.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like you just said, guys that were Aaron Rodgers has been doing that for years. Tom Brady did that for 15 years, 16 years up in New England.
Yeah.
Guys like that, guys make receivers, man, for sure. Definitely. Yep. Quarterbacks definitely make receivers. Sometimes you just get the generational talent of a wide receiver and it helps all.
Well, like, don't get me wrong. Like Allen Robinson, you could tell he's a good receiver. He's played with such shit quarterbacks his whole career, and he's had numbers. You know what I mean? Now imagine him going to a team like Seattle or Green Bay, as painful as that is for me to say that, or even going to Tampa to play with Tom Brady. I think you're right, Mike. All these quarterbacks that are showing, hey man, just come here, play with us, we will be better. Look, Tampa Bay could be the worst thing that's happened to football, because it was literally Tom Brady went there, and then everybody was like, well, that's where I want to go play. I want to go play with him. Gronk went there.
Go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
It's the effect that the Heat had on the NBA back when LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh teamed up. They were bringing in everybody. They were all taking minimum contracts just because they wanted to play with those three guys.
Right.
I don't want. I called in the Kaplan show this week too, and I kind of yelled at him a little bit because
I heard it.
He's sitting there. He's like, this team sucked before Tom Brady got there. Time the fuck out a second.
Yeah.
Time out a second. They still had Mike Evans. They still had Godwin.
Yep.
Okay, and they still had Rojo.
Jameis, baby.
Jameis threw 30 touchdowns.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I said. I was like, you got a guy out there with, I'm not a fan of Jameis Winston. But the guy goes out there, throws 5,000 yards and does 30-30. You could have thrown literally, you could have had Mitchell Trubisky back there and he would have thrown 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns with that team. So they weren't in all that bad of a team.
Pump the brakes on that.
I'm serious, dude. The weapons they have down there are ridiculous. Mike Evans, as much as he drives me nuts, he is a very, very, very talented wide receiver. All right. The only reason I'm saying he drives me nuts is the fantasy aspect of it.
He reminds me of Julio Jones.
So last year, even without Brady, the Bucs had the best run defense in the league. So they were a great team. It was just the turnovers for famous Jameis, which he needed to get those under control a little more. Hell, even if he had 20 interceptions last year, that team would have had a fucking
you're talking playoffs. 7. They went 7-9 last year. If he cuts out 10 of those interceptions or 10 of those turnovers,
right,
you're talking about a team that's 9-7.
Right.
You're talking about a team that's 9-7, 10-3, 10-5, 10-6. Go ahead, Ty. I'm sorry.
So after the season last year, I was talking with one of my buddies. I still got screenshots of his text. So you guys know I love famous Jameis. I think he needs to get his interceptions under control, and I think he's gonna be all right. He reminds me of a young Brett Favre, just hucking and chucking it all over the field. So I have text with my buddy. I was trying to decide last year whether I wanted to make a bet on the Bucs to win the Super Bowl this year. At the time, the Bucs hadn't signed Brady. They still had famous Jameis. They were plus 5,500 to win the Super Bowl. I allowed myself to be talked out of it.
Oh my God!
I allowed myself to be talked out of it.
That'd have been a nice payday. So I mean, all of that being said, guys, we've broken down this a little bit here today to figure out what we got going on for the Super Bowl. Who are you guys taking in today's game? I know it's a tough game, man. I don't know.
So I posted something the other day on Facebook about how I'm excited for this game, and not because I have a favorite or who I want to win in this game, but because I think it's going to be a fun football game to watch with no I want my team. If the Bears were in it, I'd be a ball of nerves the whole time. But I have no real affiliation to either of these teams. Personally, I want to see Mahomes lose just because I don't want him to win 2 Super Bowls and not be a Bear. So I want Tampa Bay to win. Plus, I think it would be cool for Tom Brady to get his 7th ring. Then you really separate yourself from people. So,
Tyler, who are you taking?
I think the Chiefs win. I think they got too much firepower. If they don't contain Tyreek Hill, it's over.
I don't know. This is a tough one for me, man. I'm not betting against Tom Brady. I hate betting against Tom Brady. It blows. Okay, I'm not a fan of it. I'm shit. I don't know. I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna take the Chiefs just because I think that offense, like you said, Ty, that offense is just so powerful, and they have enough on defense to just slow it down a second and maybe cause a turnover, maybe a costly pick or something like that. No, I'm switching. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
So listen to this.
I can't go against Tom Brady.
The only time Brady has lost in the Super Bowl has been to below average quarterbacks, right? Nick Foles and Eli Manning. That's it. Those guys aren't world beaters, but he's beaten some great quarterbacks. I think Patrick Mahomes is great, obviously, but I think maybe going up against Tom Brady, there's got to be some kind of nerves there, you would think. You know what I mean? You're going up against the greatest quarterback in NFL history. You know?
Right. Yeah, no, dude, I know. I'm taking Brady. I'm taking Brady just because I think that the quick score capability of the Kansas City Chiefs will come back to bite them like it did 2 years ago in the AFC Championship game with Tom Brady.
Yeah. Now here's something. If Mahomes does win, right? Mm-hmm. That's what, 2 Super Bowls in 4 years, right?
Well, yeah. He's only been a starter for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he's been in the NFL for 4. So 2 Super Bowls for 3 in 3 years of him starting. If that trend continues, the over-under here has got to be at least 8 Super Bowls, right? You would think.
If he stays healthy.
Right.
If he stays healthy.
That's a little unobtainable.
I would say
8.
Right. You never know.
Tom Brady's about to play for his 7th.
Okay, well that's
and he's playing way better than Brady.
Though that only one guy in the history of sports has done that, or not sports. History of the NFL has done that. You can't expect just because this guy's won 2 in his first 3 years of starting that he's just going to continue that trend. As much as you want to think it could be that way, it's football. Anything can happen. A freak injury.
I get that.
Somebody leaves. Anything can happen. I don't think you can set it around.
But I mean, you don't go. I mean, I don't know. If he wins this year, who's really going to compete against them next year? Crickets, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Crickets.
Right.
So then if they make it to the Super Bowl again, the odds are going to be on Kansas City. That would be 3 in fucking 4 years. Yep. He's got at least 10 more years to play.
What we're seeing with this Kansas City Chiefs team, and it's kind of fitting. I even tweeted about it too. It's kind of fitting where it's at. Tweeted. Whatever the hell it is. Yeah, I twittered about it. All right. I'm showing. I used the Twitter machine. All right. No, but like what we're seeing, it's fitting. You know, like Tom Brady against Patrick Mahomes, the fucking GOAT. Going into this game, everybody knows is Tom Brady. But in 15 years from now, we may be looking at this and being like, Patrick Mahomes is head and shoulders better than Tom Brady.
It could be a passing of the torch game.
Right, exactly. It could just be one of those monumental type of things where it's unbelievable. And I hope that, I want the game to be like 42-35.
Me too.
Like that's what I want.
I would be so pissed if this game is like 42-13. I'm going to be fucking pissed.
I just want to see a good game, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to see a high-scoring affair. I want to see it back and forth. I don't be like, did you fucking see that? You know what I mean? That's what I want to do.
Yeah, big splash plays and, Patrick Mahomes rolling out of the pocket, almost getting tackled 4 times and throwing a 60-yard touchdown.
So in Tom Brady's career, his 9 Super Bowl appearances before this, his teams have only scored 3 points in the first quarter. He only has 3.
Touchdown. First drive. I'm calling
You
it.
think
Touchdown.
so?
Touchdown.
I'll take the history on my side.
I'm taking Tom Brady.
So Tyler, would you take the under for the first half score?
I'm going to
I think it's 28.5.
If it plays out how I think it's going to play out, Tom Brady maybe kicking a field goal in the first quarter, I'm going to live bet the over after the first half.
Okay. That'll be interesting because I think what's the over, 55?
It's been bouncing around between 55 and 56.5. It opened up at 57 a couple weeks ago.
I am not betting on today's game.
Really?
I got a couple bets out
It's
there.
the last football game of the season. How do you not make a bet on it?
I'm not betting on it. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to get pissed off about it. I got squares going and shit like that, so I got that stuff going. But I'm not.
I got some disposable income from Aaron Rodgers MVP last night, so
there you go.
I'm riding a couple bets out.
You know what you're not going to get though? Disposable income with the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl.
Oh, that was a low blow. Low blow. That's all right. He's a Packer fan. He deserves it.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, man, I'm excited for today's game. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Everything's kicking off around 2:00, so it should be a lot of fun.
Let's Tyler, you have any cool prop bets? I'm actually kind of looking them up right now. See if there's any fun prop bets that people can play.
So there's this guy on Reddit, all right? An hour before kickoff, this guy knows one of the equipment managers for the Kansas City Chiefs. If you think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, you can get better odds on their Gatorade color. He is going to give him a call an hour before kickoff with the Chiefs Gatorade color. All year long, the Chiefs Gatorade colors have been red, yellow, and orange. They haven't used any other color Gatorade. So it should be one of those three that are going to be posting it an hour before kickoff what color Gatorade the Chiefs are going to have.
Bro, that's insane. Somebody's going to be like, I had bet $1 million that it's orange. And then
I'm going to say it's going to be something different. I think it's going to be something like blue.
Nah, who drinks blue Gatorade anymore? It's always like red.
This guy.
Yeah, I like blue Gatorade. But
I do too. I don't really see people drink.
It is supposed to rain, though, so I don't know if they're going to fucking dump any Gatorade on a coach if they're completely soaked, you know what I'm saying? Kind of defeats the whole purpose.
They're just going to throw cheeseburgers at Andy Reid.
Oh, yo, that would be epic. Instead of confetti cannons, they just shoot, like, cheeseburger toppings out of them, pickles and lettuce.
Out of a T-shirt gun, just fire out a fucking cheeseburger at Andy Reid.
Well, they have hot dog guns. You just wrap a fucking T-shirt up and shoot that at him.
Just rifle at him.
Right in his mouth.
Probably like walrus and just
Dude.
Homer Simpson eat it.
Like, okay, so go ahead, Ty.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna go back to the bets.
All right. Well, I have so I made these right when the lines came out a couple of weeks ago. Tyreek Hill 2+ touchdowns. I put a unit on that, and then Tyreek Hill 3+ touchdowns. I put a half unit on that, just in case we have a repeat. And I also last night I made a bet. It's on PointsBet. So this is my first time ever using. So I've used PointsBet before. They have this type of betting called points betting. So say like the spread for this game is 3. So however much, so if the Chiefs cover the spread by more than 3, every point they cover higher, you win that bet. So you say you bet $20 on it and the Chiefs win by 7, you win $20 for every point after. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So you'd win $80. I have a bet on Tyreek Hill first touchdown accelerator. His line's 46, and first touchdown is 150 points. Second touchdown 75. Third touchdown is 50 points. Fourth is 25, and then fifth touchdown is 10 points. So if he scores more than 46 points through that, I win another $3.69 for every score higher.
So is that your lock?
I mean, you call it a lock if you want. All he needs.
No, you gotta call it a lock. Is it a lock,
bro? Every time you've made Tyler,
you got
a lock.
What's the lock, Ty?
He's completely whiffed on it.
No, there was one of them that he made me call a lock. I think it was a Travis Kelce over like 7.5 receptions. He's like, "Is that your lock? Is that your lock?" I was like, "I mean, sure, whatever." And that was the first lock of the week I hit.
Well, there you go.
But
remember the one where he had like Mitchell Trubisky to throw an interception and instead he fumbled?
or fucking Alexander Madison's rushing line was like 70 yards or something like that. You made me call it a lock. He had like 20 rushing yards for the game.
Terrible game.
18.5 rushing yards and a fumble. It's like, fucking Christ.
This is going to be the Alexander Madison game. Nope, it was not.
Oh, dude, I was so excited for that week. I had him in like 12 different fantasy leagues. I was all ready to go. Had all my DFS lineups ready. Had fucking all my bets ready for him, and he fucking shit the bed.
Well,
I think I'm going to play the Tom Brady over rushing yards. It's 0.5. All he has to do is fall forward.
Don't forget
on a QB sneak.
Goal line, Tom Brady's taking it in.
Right. That's what I was just thinking. You know, you're on the 1 yard line. You might just quarterback sneak that. That's a easy. That's easy. He could just fall forward.
Right there,
yeah. It's plus 128. That's pretty good.
I would say that's a lock.
I would not lock nothing. No locks over here.
You got to come up with a lock here.
Give me the lock KC -3.
Yeah, you see him beating them by what?
I heard a stat this week. So through the last 20 Super Bowls, the favorite has either covered the spread or the underdog has won outright. The underdog hasn't covered the spread without winning outright over the last 20 years in the Super Bowl. So if the favorite wins, they always cover the spread over the last 20 years. Obviously, the trend is your friend until it ends. But
right. What would you say the strength of Kansas City's defense is?
Getting to the quarterback.
Yeah.
You got Chris Jones back there. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the league.
And if you're going to stop anything, you think they'd stop the pass, right? Try to at least, and let Leonard Fournette kind of play an average game for them.
Nice game 2 weeks ago. He had a nice game against the Packers.
Well, the Packers' run defense is terrible.
Mike, you can put up 100 yards on that rush defense.
I was just going to say. The Packers' rush defense is terrible.
Fucking Packers defense. I could put up 200 against those bums.
So there's a few anytime touchdown guys on here. I'm looking at the app right now. Is Sammy Watkins healthy? Is he playing in this game?
I think he's questionable. I don't know if he's active or not.
There's always something wrong with that guy. There's always something.
He just can't stay healthy.
Last year after the Super Bowl, he came out and said he might take this year off. He ended up playing this year, but he was debating taking the season off this year.
Yeah, now watch he'll win the Super Bowl and retire.
Antonio Brown, Cameron Brate, and Sammy Watkins are all listed as questionable for Sunday, but all are expected to play per Adam Schefter.
All right, well, let's move off the Super Bowl here a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the Bears quarterback situation going on here. This is going to be awesome. We're just going to be quick, and we're getting out of here to enjoy the Super Bowl day. I don't know what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing at this point.
Yes, you do. Don't lie. You wouldn't have brought it up if you didn't care.
I only brought it up because it's in the synopsis of the show.
Whatever.
That's the whole reason. I should have just left it out to where I didn't have to fucking ruin my day by talking Chicago Bears.
No, because you know what's going to happen? The news is going to break at halftime of the Super Bowl, and it's going to ruin everything for the rest of the day.
Who do you think they're going to go after? Do you think they're going to go after Carr?
No, I think they're going to get Carson Wentz. Ugh. And now listen, I don't think that's a terrible trade. I've seen on Twitter that there's thoughts of, okay, they're going to give a first and Nick Foles and then another offensive player, but then they're expected to get Carson Wentz and this year's second round pick. So if the Bears were to give up a first round this year and then get the Eagles' second round, I think I would be okay with that. You'd have 2 picks in the second round. This is a deep offensive line draft. It can't be worse than what they have now. That's the thing. It just can't be.
I don't think Carson Wentz is enough to keep Allen Robinson here.
It doesn't matter. If they want to franchise Allen Robinson, they can franchise Allen Robinson. And he's stuck. He doesn't play. Okay, then he sits, but he doesn't get paid. So he's not going anywhere. All these people, I got a buddy who's like, oh, he's going to come to Green Bay. No, The Bears would never let that happen.
The Packers don't have enough cap room for that either.
You can always find money. You can always
unless you're the Chicago Cubs.
This isn't biblical losses.
Talking baseball. This is talking biblical as the Dodgers just sign everybody all off season.
Yeah,
nobody told him he had to buy all the property around Wrigley Field.
Yeah. And then a COVID pandemic hit. But I also heard that Sam Darnold is on the table for the Bears. I think he would cost less. You know what's crazy? Quarterbacks nowadays,
New York.
like when you're in like the third tier quarterback, all of a sudden you're like, remember when they did that cash for clunkers deal where like if you had a used car, you were getting a shit ton of money for it? That's exactly what these quarterbacks are like, right? Like Carson Wentz had a terrible season last year, and the Eagles initially wanted 2 first-round draft picks for him. Are you high?
Well, you're talking about the reason why I don't like Carson Wentz isn't because of the fact that he had a terrible season last year. It's the fact that the fucking guy is never healthy.
Right.
Never healthy.
Right.
All right. And what do you think is going to happen here when you bring him to a Bears O-line that's fucking just as bad, if not worse, than the Philadelphia Eagles O-line?
Yeah.
He's going to be killed. I'm not sitting.
Go ahead.
I'm not sitting here. Listen, we all know what the Bears looked like at the end of the year here. Yeah. Who the fuck did the Bears play? They played nobody with a pass rush, plain and simple.
True.
All right, so don't sit here and tell me that this offensive line, it got better.
No, it did get better though, Mike.
They didn't fucking play anybody.
It doesn't matter. It got better than what it was.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
No, it didn't.
The moves that they made and the interior of did the running game get better?
They didn't play anybody.
Did the running game get better towards the end of the year?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was running up against the fucking sisters in the Nazarene across the way from them? Don't sit here and fucking
the worst rush defense they played at the end of the year was the Packers, right?
Texans.
That was earlier in the season. I don't agree. I got to disagree. I think that the guys you have on the interior of the line played well enough to next year.
They're trash. Exactly.
Able to.
That's exactly what they are. They're fucking dirty underwear.
So Wentz was sacked 50 times last year behind the Eagles' offensive line.
Yeah.
The fucking Bears' offensive line is even worse than that. Do you think he's going to survive back there?
No, I don't.
No, he's not. He's going to get
that's what I'm saying.
And I'm not saying I want Wentz because I don't.
No,
I would rather them.
For everybody saying to go out there and get a middle tier quarterback like somebody like Mariota or Wentz or
God, Mariota
or any of them fucking those third tier disaster string fucking quarterbacks, I don't want here because it's not going to help you. Now, if you're gonna sit there and grab somebody that's if you're gonna grab those guys on the cheap, like legit on the cheap, somebody like Mariota on the cheap, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But don't sit there and blow smoke up my ass saying that the fucking offensive line got better when they played nobody. Because whoever you throw back there is going to get fucking murdered. All right, until they fix this whole line. So, yeah, okay, your point. If you're going to get a second round back, great. But you're still giving up your first round when you can have somebody like Elijah Vera Tucker.
True.
You know what I mean? But you're right. It is a heavy offensive line draft. I like this offensive line draft. And you can grab 2 of them in the second round that are still solid players.
Right.
Solid players.
Guys that'll be there for your team that'll help improve your line off automatically.
If you think that's going to be immediately better with Carson Wentz back there and 2 rookie offensive linemen or whatever you draft or 1 offensive lineman, it's not. It's not going to be.
I did also read an article, though, that the Bears were interested in Aaron Jones.
I would love to have Aaron Jones.
Yeah, so
you
would
guys
I.
overpay him. Go ahead.
Yeah, we would overpay him.
They would, for sure, without a doubt.
But this is – I forgot where I was going with this. Now I'm pissed off. And
you were going to say that the offensive line is really good.
No, I wasn't because they're trash.
So the Bears offensive line was ranked 27th, and the Eagles offensive line was ranked 25th for the year.
Go Bears!
So
that's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, they got better. They got better against terrible teams. terrible teams with absolutely zero pass rush.
I mean, like if you went into like an assisted education class, you were getting Fs. Then you went where somebody reads you the test scores, and all of a sudden you went from an F to a D plus. Hey, that's an improvement. You ask me.
You are saying the same exact thing that I'm saying.
What? I think the offensive line got better.
If it got easier, if your competition got easier, you're trying to pass a test with an F, but now you're giving the answers.
Did you get a D plus? You got a D plus. That's all that matters. It's the
same exact thing that you're telling. It's the same fucking thing I'm saying.
Still better. It's still better.
It's not. Do you like participation trophies too?
Well, yeah. No, I've never gotten one of those. I've always been the guy that gets no trophy.
So hold up. So to end the year, the Bears' schedule starting at week 13 was Lions, Texans, Vikings, Jaguars, Packers. Awful.
And where do those rushing defense? Where do those defenses rank? I know. I wrote an article on it. It's like 28th, 30th, 27th, 18th.
So
against the run. So
just total defense.
Okay, I got to pull up a different link for that then.
Go ahead, Andy.
I'm just going to say you get a better quarterback, and I'm not saying Wentz is better head and shoulders above Trubisky or Foles, but a better quarterback takes that pressure off of the running game, right? And when you're not sure what's going to happen, you're less likely to be able to stop the run. The Bears were so one-dimensional last year. Everybody knew they were going to run the ball on first down. Everybody. So you stop them. Then you leave it to Mitch Trubisky to only have half the field and try to make something happen. The Bears' offense was so predictable. You get somebody who's a little better, a step up, who can make some kind of plays, who can move the ball down the field. You don't have the box stacked against your running back.
I got it right here. Okay. The Detroit Lions are dead last. Dead last, 32nd. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 31st, second to dead last. All right. The Minnesota Vikings, 29th, fourth from dead last. The Houston Texans, 27th. That's all. It's two above the fucking Vikings. And then you got to shoot all the way up to like 18 or whatever, 13 for the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, that's the top.
Okay, but that's the thing, though. Don't sit there and tell me that this ice cream is ice cream. Don't sit there and tell me you shit in a cone and tell me it's ice cream. That's what I'm saying.
You're so negative about this team.
I'm not negative.
All the time.
What's there to be
You can be optimistic about a team, man. You can be. Yes, there were bright spots to this season that happened.
What has being positive got you for the last 35 years?
Okay. I'm not saying I wanted everybody fired.
Last 35 years.
I wanted everybody fired. So let's just put that out there.
I love Darnell.
That's why this whole situation is. That's why all this is happening. If they would have just fired Pace and Nagy when they were at the 6-game losing streak, they wouldn't have made the playoffs. Then we'd be in the top 6 for draft picks. I'm so tired of.
Well, hold on.
Ron is always negative in the chat too.
Ron is a fucking.
There's
Ron
nothing
is
to be positive
an idealist,
about.
man. He sees it for what it is. He's not a glass half empty guy. He's not a glass half full guy. It's the fucking glass is where it is. And
he's the glass in his hand and throws it against the wall.
So am I. I'm sick of watching this.
I know.
For the last 35 goddamn years.
So am I. But there are ways to improve this team.
Yes.
If you get Wentz or if you don't get Wentz. I'm not saying I want him.
A plane crash would improve this team.
No, because then there would be no team.
Exactly. So automatically improved. We have to hire
the way to get the Bears team to improve is to stop buying merchandise, stop buying.
And that's tickets. People say that in the NFL. The NFL makes too much money. That'll never happen. Never. It's not like the NBA, especially with nobody in the stands. How are you going to see any revenue loss? Any fans in the stands next year is a revenue increase. So It's going to have to take 20 more years of this for this to happen. I'm just saying.
Well, we're already 35 into it. You know what I mean? So what's another 20? Who gives a flying frog's fat green ass? We're already 35 into it. Let's keep it rolling.
I do.
Matt Nagy for the next 20 years.
Oh, good God.
And that's the other thing. let's talk about that real quick. How you're going to take a head coach and a general manager, right? Who you would think there's no proof that they said, hey, this is your last chance, but you would think this is the last season to get it right, right? And now you're going to have these guys as lame duck coach and GM do whatever they can to get a quarterback, because without a quarterback, there is no Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy next year, right? We can all agree on that. So now you're going to go out and throw fucking darts against the wall at whatever quarterback's out there that you think is better. It's a bad situation. They should have moved on from the coach, from the GM for sure. Maybe kept Nagy for one more year, but I think they should have moved on from both. And then you would have a fresh set of eyes who's like, hey, let me just draft a quarterback instead of dicking with all this trade rumors. The only quarterback I would trade for is Deshaun Watson. And at this point, it doesn't look like the Texans are in the mood to play ball with that idea. Maybe 6 months down the road, they will be, but the Bears can't afford to wait 6 months. They should. Right. They should wait 6 months, but they can't.
I would give up the shop for Deshaun Watson.
Oh, absolutely. People who are like, well, what about the future? What about the future? I posted something on Facebook, Mike, and on Twitter about that, basically saying, well, what has the future looked like since the Bears had a legit franchise quarterback?
Right.
Oh, wait, they've never had a legit franchise quarterback.
No. And like that even goes, like, that's another thing too. People always talk about the 85 Bears. It was 35 fucking years ago for starters. Stop fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sick of hearing "duh Bears" bullshit. All right, because "duh Bears" blow. All right, that's exactly what it is. So the franchise quarterback of Jim McMahon, he wasn't a franchise quarterback, dude.
Right, he was an average quarterback.
The second best offense that year. They weren't.
Yeah, because Walter Payton was a fucking monster.
No, you want to know why? Because the defense gave him the ball back every fucking.
That's true.
That's why they're on the field for fucking 45 of the 40 of the 60 minutes of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's why they. That's why
it's funny. The same people that toot the horn for the 85 Bears are the same people who are like, oh, Mitch Trubisky is great because of 2018. It was almost the exact, not that obviously 18 was nowhere near the 85 defense, but because that defense gave the ball back to the Bears inside their own opponent's 30-yard line. Right. That's why the Bears were able to score points.
Right. No, I agree.
Tyler, where do you think Trubisky ends up next year?
Riding the pine somewhere.
You don't think anywhere specific?
No. Well, I mean,
Mike and I talked about this a couple weeks ago on the Fat Mike show. We actually just talked about it. Yeah, 2 weeks ago we talked about it, and I threw out Pittsburgh. I thought Pittsburgh would be
that report came out about that.
Did it?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I think Pittsburgh would be a smart move for him because Roethlisberger doesn't stay healthy very much. Give you a shot to come in.
They just signed Dwayne Haskins, man.
Ooh, I'd much rather have Trubisky over Haskins. I'm just saying.
Me too.
So, and that lets you know how
I would take an actual dumpster, like an actual garbage can, over Dwayne Haskins.
I don't know. I think maybe New England for a couple mil maybe makes sense. Try and get his career on the right track. Remove all distractions besides football.
Right, that's what you would get in going to New England. That's for sure.
Yeah, just straight business.
Yeah, Belichick would make sure that there's no stupid questions. You're just focused on football. That's a good spot. Wouldn't that suck? Trubisky goes there, leads the fucking Patriots to 2 Super Bowls.
That's as much as I love Mike North. Okay, Mike North does that shit all the time, but he's a big fucking Mitch guy too.
Yeah, I hear his all the time.
Oh my god, dude! And I love Mike. He's great people, but it's like, Mike, dude, that's enough, bro. Like, enough of the comparison to Trubisky to fucking Joe Montana. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, man. You would think he was like...
There's no comparison, all right?
No.
Like, first off, stop trying to make... Like I said, stop pooping in my ice cream cone and telling me it's ice cream. You know what I mean?
The thing, if it broke that the Bears signed Trubisky for another year, I would be okay with that. I would rather them do that.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't rather them sign him and then draft a quarterback?
Get the fuck out of here.
Why are you content with mediocrity?
I'm not, though. But I'd rather spend money on a quarterback than spend draft capital on a quarterback. That's just me. Because then you can
draft quarterbacks right in the draft anyway.
Right.
Well, yeah, especially if they trade for. I'd rather use my draft picks to try to move up in the draft to draft somebody than to trade for a Carson Wentz or Sam Darnold.
Do you trust this regime to get it right, though? You've already witnessed them trade up.
I don't trust them to trade for the guy to get it right. The only way I would ever trust them to get it right is if they traded for Deshaun Watson. That's it.
Right.
And they got that wrong. Now they have to go give 4 first-round draft picks for the guy if they want him. Talk about a fucking slap in the face. Mike, why do you always do this?
Do what?
You always bring up the Bears, and then I get pissed off.
Because we had to talk about it. Because it's news here in Chicago.
Whatever.
We shouldn't have brought it
up. We were having such a good Super Bowl conversation and food and prop bets and this and that.
You ruined the day.
Hey, I saw on a Barstool though somebody was standing outside Raymond James Stadium with a stopwatch while they were rehearsing the national anthem today. That's funny.
No, that was a couple days ago. The books pulled all national anthem bets off the board.
Yeah, because of that.
Yep.
That's funny. That's great. Well,
speaking of Barstool, did you guys watch that Jose Canseco fight?
Yeah, what a bitch.
Fuck Jose Canseco.
Wait, Jose Canseco fought?
Yeah, he fought Billy
rough and rowdy on Friday.
It was like 7 seconds. Yeah, he's like, oh, my shoulder.
Oh, I tore my shoulder.
Bro, Jose Canseco is such a punk. Dude threw everybody that used steroids under the bus and then made money off of it. And then now that get out of here. You can't go and use juice and then throw everybody under the bus because you got busted. Like, oh, Mark McGuire, this guy, that guy. I put the needle in his ass. Like, come on, dude.
Singing like a fucking canary.
Right. It's so ridiculous.
All right.
Hey, guess who's gonna be up for the Hall of Fame next year?
Who's that?
Devin Hester, baby. First ballot. I guarantee you he goes it. You don't think so? I'll make you a bet.
He's Hall of Fame or he's not first ballot.
I make you a bet that he gets in. $50, $23.
In there that he's a first ballot.
$23. It's I think Anquan Bolden was one. Who was it? Hold on. I'll go to Adam Schefter real quick. He always has that shit. All right, so it's DeMarcus Ware, Devin Hester, Steve Smith Sr., Robert Mathis, Andre Johnson, Vince Wilfork, and Anquan Bolden.
I don't think he gets in first ballot.
Yeah, I did. Well, we just talked about him. I wasn't going to mention him too.
I don't think he gets in first ballot.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know, man. You don't hold records and not get in on your first try.
All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, at least the NFL puts in deserving players in the Hall of Fame, unlike baseball.
Except the baseball, yeah. Hey, you guys, we should transition from a talking football show to a talking baseball show. You know, football's over here. This is season 1 finale right here.
Yeah.
We did a lot of shit on this show this year.
It's over.
Nobody knows who won in the pick'ems.
Yeah, nobody ever announced that.
Because we don't know who won. We hadn't done a show in 6 months.
I mean, we know who won.
Hey, you were only up by 3 games. So
yeah, we all won. I won.
Yeah, Mike
I won.
Over here.
Came all the way back. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. All right, guys, let's wrap this pig up. I gotta poop. So
what a way to end the first season of talking.
Talking football.
Hey,
talking.
Bears better than some of the endings we had. Fucking talking about porn and stuff.
Yeah. Why'd you bring it up? Mike's gonna start talking about his favorites.
So everybody watches porn, bro.
I said you're gonna talk about your favorite.
Where do you watch it?
Where do you watch it? Why does it matter? I watch it on a 187-inch screen. No, it doesn't matter. Everybody watches it.
Projector.
Dude, that would be wicked to have that big of a screen.
My buddy has VR.
Nice. That would be weird.
He was telling me porn is insane on that thing.
That'd be weird. I think it would look funny.
I never wanted to try that because I got PlayStation VR, my PS4. I had bricked my PS3 watching a lot of porn on it when I was a teenager, so I never wanted to try it on my PS4. So I was like, I'm just not going to test that out.
I just feel like VR, watching porn on VR would just be weird. Because like you're just sitting there with this big ass thing on your head, and like I don't know, that just is weird to me.
Yeah, you're wearing a futuristic fucking goggle and you're tugging.
Neighbors are peeking through. You can't see if anybody can see. It's ridiculous.
Oh, this is awesome.
And then you take the visor off, and you're back to your real life. At least just be in real life with it. Jesus.
Right. Oh, shit.
All right. End this show before we talk more.
Happy
porn.
Super Bowl day. We will talk to you guys a little later. We will see you guys on Wednesday for the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. Until then, we'll talk. Have a good one, guys. Happy Super Bowl.
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Yeah.
Hey.